If you are a creative who feels confused, hurt, frustrated by all of the political division, the disunity, the fighting that we see in our time, in our society, then this video is for you. I want to speak to creatives and encourage them in a extremely divided, especially when we see things online, right? When we're looking online, we just see the opposite sides of political ideas fighting each other, clashing, being very hateful towards one another. And I want to encourage you as a creative to continue being a creative, to continue in your art, and how that can actually help our society, and how that can help each of us kind of make it through this crazy time and find stability where maybe it feels like there isn't as much stability. So I have a couple of different ideas. We're actually going to look at a video from Ken Burns, who is a really great documentary filmmaker. And we're going to kind of look at his ideas about what the United States is as a country, and yeah, just some cool thoughts. So the first thing I wanted to share is this idea that our beliefs and views shape our creative expression. So for you, your beliefs and your views are important, and we all have various beliefs and ideas. I haven't met a single person that I agree with on every single topic, right? You're never going to meet someone that you agree with on faith, politics, or whatever it is, right? We all have different views and ideas, and your views and ideas shape how you express yourself creatively. It's impossible for those things, your worldview, all of that, it's impossible for that to not shape how you express yourself creatively. So Ken Burns, like I said, he's a documentary filmmaker. He's the GOAT, basically. He's the GOAT. He's done some of the best documentaries of all time. He is definitely one of the best documentary filmmakers. If you've heard of the Ken Burns effect, that started by him, right? He's been around for a while. He is a great example of a creative person, and he uses stories from our past to kind of show us where we're at today, right? To help us understand who we are in this moment. And so I'm actually going to pull up a video, and we'll kind of react to it together and look at it. Ken Burns was on the Theo Vaughn podcast in October, and so just wanted to pull two moments from that.
Well, what I liked about this is it's people showing up for something, right?
Yes.
It's people in the streets.
Well, they're expressing what they're allowed to do.
Right.
And that's what, in a democratic society, which Britain is, you get a chance to, as our First Amendment says, the government will establish no religion. You have freedom of the press and freedom of assembly. You have the ability to, these are the hallmarks, the number one thing. After the Constitution was done, everybody said, whoa, time out. We've got a Constitution, we got an operating manual, but we're not going to go forward in this unless we get a Bill of Rights that tells us what, that enshrines the things we just fought for, things we just died for. There's one, the Saving Private Ryan story of, sons are dying. It's based on a true story where a woman, I think from Iowa, whose last name is Sullivan, lost 4 sons in a battleship that went down, and the Department of War said, we're now going to separate everybody, all the brothers. Rebecca Tanner, a Mohegan woman, meaning probably Connecticut, lost 5 sons, not 4, but 5 sons fighting for the patriot cause. This is a Native American woman. So you realize that's the sacrifice that people have made in order for us to be able to hold a demonstration, express our point of view nonviolently, and to be able to tolerate lots of ideas. I mean, you can't say, we're only going to tolerate our ideas and everybody else who doesn't agree with us are therefore bad. I mean, across the street from us on 23rd Street in New York City, where we are right now, is the headquarters of the Communist Party of the United States that has as much right to its office space as the Republican National Committee or the Democratic National Committee. Doesn't it? In a country in which all ideas are free?
Wow. Okay. So he's talking about a lot of things there, and he's referencing the Revolutionary War and these mothers who lost their sons in that war, and talking about this idea. Okay, so where do we get freedom of assembly from, and why? What was the cost that was paid to have that ability to assemble nonviolently, to express our views in a public setting, in a public way. And then, of course, talking about, he uses this word, to tolerate lots of ideas, or the toleration, he might have used it that way, toleration of ideas. Tolerate is a very good word. It's a precise word that he's using, where you're not necessarily saying agree with or fold to the pressures of or never push back on. He's saying tolerate. Tolerate means you allow it to exist. You are maybe not happy with it, but you are not doing anything to cause that to not happen. And he references the Communist Party. The Communist Party headquarters are right across the street. And this idea, I think, is so vital for us as creatives. Think of it this way. Creatives sift through lots of ideas to find truth in their art, right? So as creatives, we like to sift through various ideas, perspectives, viewpoints, and oftentimes we're looking at things and we're not putting limits or boundaries on what is a good idea. For creatives, you're looking at all kinds of ideas going, okay, this could work, this could be a good idea. You are open to ideas. I would say in that similar sense, you are tolerating various ideas and you're sifting through them, trying to find the truth. I used truth in quotations, but essentially you're trying to find what is true for your art, what is true for your creative expression, the specific project that you're working on, or the way that you're going to express yourself creatively. What is the truth, the most best part, right? Was it who's the guy that made the David statue, right? The famous, made out of marble or whatever, right? They said, okay, they asked him, like, how did you took a block of stone and you get this statue of David? And he's like, no, I just carved away at all that didn't need to be there until I arrived at David. And that's kind of what creatives do, is we are sifting through ideas going, this is interesting, but not necessary. I'm going to remove it. This is cool, but not helpful to what I'm working on in this specific project or in this specific thing, right? So that's what I want to encourage you as we're looking at division in our society, various viewpoints. There is a toleration that I think creatives need to be aware of. It's like, okay, here are these different ideas. What are you going to do about them? Are you just going to completely shut them out, or try to minimize them, or talk badly about them? Oh, well, they do this because of this. When in reality, everyone is showing up, like I said earlier, with different views and perspectives. And as creatives, we can show up with our gifts and be able to sift through those ideas and even prop up the ideas that we agree with, or that we find truth in. And I think that is the job of each creative, or a job. Part of that is to show up in that way and say, no, I think this has some truth in it, and I want to highlight that in a creative way. So let's pull up. I'm gonna find one more clip here from Mr. Ken Burns, and we'll kind of hear. I think this is a much more interesting section to look at.
It's like the libraries in Cuba. You can't even get history books before certain years.
Because people want to manipulate this stuff. And what's so great about a free country is we go, yeah, we screwed up there. You know what I mean? It's so funny that we live in a country that is totally devoted to football, right? Understandably so. Mm-hmm. Every level. Friday night, high school. Saturday, college. Sunday, pro. And if that coach comes up and says, yeah, well, we're okay. You go, he's fired. You go, we really sucked on special teams this time. We really need to do some work here, and we do. And there's a sense of, and we do this in business all the time.
Earnestness.
And we just say,
Is that what you're saying?
how do we get better?
I see.
What is it that we did wrong? And so there is that incredible American drive to be super honest and just say, I really messed up here and I can do better the next time. If you think that Tom Brady wins his first Super Bowl and he goes, okay, cruise control for the rest of my career, right? And I'll get 6 more Super Bowls. He is phenomenally dedicated to self-criticism and where you can improve.
Yeah.
If we extended that into our civic and our political world, we would not be in the kind of argumentative mud that we're in right now, where we feel stuck and unable to move and this, and it's always the other person, not me, and I'm in the mud because of you, not because of I stepped in it. It's just, if we brought that ethic of self-improvement, it's what we've been talking all along. It's my response. My mom used to say that to me. You know, if he's got a problem with you, it's your responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got a problem with him, it's your responsibility.
The football analogy is incredible, right? Of course, a coach or Tom Brady after his first Super Bowl isn't going to say, yeah, I'm good. And I'm so good and I'm still going to win all these other rings, all these other Super Bowls, right? I love that application to sort of this political and civic sphere that we see so much of people saying, nope, we are perfect, or we've arrived, we have it, we don't need to change, and the other side is wrong, the other side is evil, and there is an othering, there is a us versus them that is falsely set up. You and I both know that if we're just looking at both political parties, they are completely fallible. There isn't a good and bad. There is both. There's problems, right? So, yeah, we can do better. We can grow. We can continue. We can get rid of this I have arrived mentality. And so my third point, my final point, is that creatives understand that our ideas are always progressing. Creatives, you understand that you are growing and continuing to grow, and that there isn't this arrival moment as creatives. There isn't an arrival moment in your art. And so the same is true in politics. The same is true when we are expressing our ideas and using our amazing freedom to communicate that. Ken Burns just does it so fabulously, where he is just communicating this truth in such a poignant way. And he's doing it. He is using his filmmaking skills. He's spending years and years developing these documentaries that show us who we were and where we've been, and talk about stories, the good and the bad. He isn't trying to whitewash our history or, try to make it look better than it was. He's being real. Hey, here's the good stuff, here's the bad stuff, here's the humanity, right? And I think as creatives, if we can lean into that humanity, go, man, there's good and there's bad in here. I'm not going to try to elevate one thing above another. When we're able to go, man, here's the world that we live in, here's humanity, here's the brokenness that is involved, here's the way that we fight each other, the othering that happens, the us versus them that happens, especially around politics, especially on social media, especially when we're fighting and calling each other names and belittling one another. Man, we can use our art to heal. We can use our art to bring people together. You have unique gifts. There's a unique calling for you to do that, and that is for you to understand and pursue. Like I said in the past, I believe God has given you a unique gift to help other people, to build up the world around us, not to tear it down, not to use our art to make one side look better than the other. Again, you're going to have your own political views. That is going to impact you. That is going to shape the way. But I guess my encouragement is use your art to encourage people, to help people, not to tear people down, not to hurt people. There is too much of that going on. There are creatives who are using their gifts in a way that is harmful. And again, they as long as they're not hurting someone, you know, if they're just calling someone names, whatever it is, I mean, they shouldn't be doing that. But I guess that's what are you gonna do, right? But as creatives, we can be better. We can think beyond just the boxes that society tries to put us in. We can think beyond these contrived us versus them battles that happen. And yeah, we can build people up. So that's my encouragement. Ken Burns is the GOAT. I hope you can maybe check out some of his documentaries, Civil War, Revolutionary War, all kinds of stuff that he's done. He did on baseball. He's done all kinds of cool documentaries. So it was cool to kind of parse through that interview and yeah, just take, okay, what is he saying? Where's he coming from as an artist and as a filmmaker? And yeah, I just enjoyed being able to kind of work through that and wrestle through some of those ideas in the way that he approaches his worldview. So yeah, thanks again for watching this video. My name is Tristan, and I hope that this encourages you.